developing countries, especially commodity exporters, but not only, there is a tendency to the long-term overvaluation of the exchange rate, and cyclically. You have a crisis, a financial crisis, then the exchange rate depreciates strongly, then depreciates it maintains appreciate for several years. In these years, the country is with a current account deficit, and its foreign debt is increasing. And after some years, now the foreign debt became too high, and another crisis. This is the pattern in Latin America. This is not the pattern in East Asia, for two reasons. First, because East Asia does not want to have current account deficits, does not want to grow with the savings of the others. They grow with their own savings, and this permits that the exchange rate to be competitive. Second, because they don't have a thing called the Dutch disease. The Dutch disease is a long-term overvaluation of the exchange rate of the country due to the exports of commodities that can be exported with a profit at an exchange rate substantially more appreciated than the exchange rate that the good companies utilizing the best technology in the world require to be also competitive. And this difference of two exchange rates is the Dutch disease that you have to neutralize. The East Asian countries didn't have, they are not exporters of commodities, and so they didn't have to neutralize this disease. That's not easy to do. These are the basic reasons why East Asia catch up, and today they are rich countries, and China is becoming, while Brazil and Latin America are quasi-stagnant since 1980. Globalization is a competition not among firms, companies, but also between nation states. And that's good. But in this competition, it's good that all countries grow together. That you can be victorious in this competition because you are making competition, making trade, exchanging investments, and things go on. What we have in Latin America is very low growth. This is bad for Europe. Fundamental problem is again a problem of exchange rate. Exchange rate, but they don't have exchange rate. They have a unique currency, the euro. Yes, but they have what is called the internal exchange rate. That is the difference between productivity and wages in one country in relation to other. We had in Europe a major euro crisis from 2010 to 2016. Now they're out of the crisis. And this was due essentially to this inability of depreciating their currencies because they don't have. And so they had to make enormous fiscal adjustments. The countries in the south, Spain, Portugal, Italy, Ireland, and this was very bad for them. Old developmentalism was the theory that was built in the 40s, 50s, and 60s by economists like Gunnar Myrdal, Raoul Prebisch, Arthur Lewis. And it was the idea that countries to develop should industrialize. And to have this industrialization, they should have an active government planning this process of industrialization. And this kind of theory lost importance from the 80s, when neoliberalism became dominant all over the world, and the World Bank, that was the hub of developmental economists, suddenly in 1980 changed and became the hub of neoliberal economists to make the neoliberal reforms. Well, I observed this. Some Brazilians and Argentinians verified that we were in a bad situation and that you needed a new theory that was critical of growth with foreign indebtedness or foreign savings. A theory that accepted that growth must be industrialization, but that had very much concerned with the 5 macroeconomic prices. And these 5 macroeconomic prices are the exchange rate, the interest rate, the inflation rate, the wage rate, and the profit rate. These are prices, macroeconomic prices. And they must be right, because capitalism, the market, is unable to keep them correct. The central banks are used for this. So we need this also. And we need especially that our exchange rate to be competitive. This is what new developmentalism defends and explains this tendency to devaluation and critiques the growth with foreign savings, defends a low interest rate, makes conceptualization of the Dutch disease, and presents the way of neutralizing it. So I think that is a really a new theory that everybody should begin to learn. Why we need growth? We need growth because we need to increase standards of living, or because we need that wages go up in real terms. This permits that developing countries are able to make the catching up, or to begin to grow faster than the rich ones, and gradually diminish the distance between one and the others. This is not happening, except for the East Asian countries. This is not happening in the underdeveloped world, and this is very bad. This is why we have a proposal that is very much on the interest of the people. I think that dialogue is fundamental everywhere. We are here to participate from a dialogue about development macroeconomics. This is the theme of this seminar. And new developmentalism is essentially a development macroeconomics. This is something that I hope I will learn with people that's here, and I hope that they learn with me. So we will have a real dialogue.